Chris,
Yeah.
a lot of things happened. Did you find any good, weird, whatever bad news to talk
Yeah,
about?
I found some, I guess it's kind of bad news, but it's a I don't know. It's a moral quandrum, I guess.
Okay.
As well as some good news. So, yeah.
Okay. I guess you went last time. What the heck did I
That's
just do
true. I
here?
did start, yeah.
I think I fucked this up just now. Oh no. Okay. Why can't I? But yeah, I guess welcome back everybody to the official Pick Spinners podcast. I don't think I even introed last time, but yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. We are now on all platforms like our other podcasts. We're on Apple, Spotify,
Nice.
Amazon Music, and the YouTube RSS feed. So if you're wondering where the gameplay is, there is none because this is an audio podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the show where we just discuss current events in video games, movies, maybe music too. Like we don't really talk about music, but has there been any? I mean, I'm so out of touch with music. Is there like anything worthwhile besides
I
P
did
Diddy?
see a thing. I did see a thing recently. And actually this was gonna be one of my subjects, but I found out something else where I replaced it instead. Apparently on Spotify, there is an AI generated band that has had like hundreds of thousands of hits, like people listening to it,
Of course.
not knowing it's AI.
Oh my god.
Um, and I get it. Like AI is getting to the point now to where it's becoming much more natural sounding, I guess, or much more like normal.
Yeah.
So I get it, but also like you should know the difference between an AI band and a real band. I would think.
Well, I
I
mean,
haven't actually listened to this band, so I don't know. But
if it's like a band that was created by a corporation, I don't think you'd be able to tell the difference because
that's true.
that's how
Yeah,
that's how like New Kids on the Block and NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, they were all created by corporations.
yeah,
So I could see I could see how people were fooled. So that's funny. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Bo Burnham broke it down in his stand-up show, What? Where he's just like repeat stuff, repeat stuff, repeat stuff, repeat stuff. Like, yeah. And that's all he talks about in the song is that it's like as long as these boy bands keep bringing in money, uh
Oh yeah,
they're they're never gonna stop.
yeah. Boy bands, pop stars, all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and K-pop is like a whole nother thing. So I'm just like,
Oh man, yeah.
yeah, anyways, okay. I guess I'll go first. Oh, that's right. I was actually torn between two subjects.
Okay.
We might add a bonus subject just because I really needed to talk about this other one because it dropped as soon as I picked my thing and I was like, "Oh, but I really need to talk about this." Okay. So, this is probably old news to everybody. But Monster Hunter Wilds has collapsed as far as like concurrent users
hmm
on Steam. It has now only retained 1% of launch players.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Ugh.
82% negative reviews. That was 14 days ago, by the way. So this, I don't know what it's at right now. I haven't checked or updated, but yeah, as of June 22nd, there was 8,077 active users.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's real sad because it's if you guys know us, Chris and I are huge fans of Monster Hunter, and I have been negative noise almost the entire time since launch because I felt it. I was like, something's wrong here. Something's rotten beneath all this. Like they should not have released it the way they did, but they did so because they needed to meet their like fiscal year earnings,
Yeah.
for investors. And so they're like, fuck it, push it out. And yeah, now it's like, what the hell? It's awful. It's like I said, I reinstalled it right before the DammitKriss update, but I
Oh
haven't
yeah.
even gone in. Like I went in and
hmm
I walked around the camp for a minute, and then I was just like, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you on that. Yeah, I remember like obviously we had discussed everything that was going on in the lack of how do you call it? Like the game's not built well. It's not what's the word? Am I thinking um oh my
I know what you're
gosh.
thinking. Um,
Yeah.
it's like it's not exactly content, but it's like things that other Monster Hunter games already had in their base versions. Like
Yeah.
all that, a lot of that shit is missing.
Yes, exactly. And I will give even World when it first came out, like it wasn't quite ready, I don't think.
Well, they
Um,
definitely they had all the content, but it was just not optimized
yeah,
for PC at least. C- Dude, Wilds didn't even have a gathering hub.
that's true.
They had to
That's
patch
true.
that
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah,
I remember saying when we found out because we were expecting Wild to come out in 2024. I think a lot of people were saying like, oh, it'll be beginning of 2024, end of 2024, whatever. And I remember when they said it was going to be 2025. I remember thinking to myself like, I'd rather wait and have them complete it than
yeah,
them rush it and it not be done.
yeah.
And even with all that time, it still wasn't complete, which is weird because the same group that did this was the same group that did World, and they finished Iceborne back in what, 2022
I don't remember.
or 2021 or something like that, I think was the final update. I'll have to,
Oh, like the last time. Oh, I have no idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I would imagine even like before even before they started that last update, they probably started at least the idea for this.
Hmm.
Um, Iceborne. So version 15.101 was available October 1st of 2020. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
October 1st, 2020. So they had 5 years or more, to get all this done. And I don't know. I don't know about you, but if they had said, you know, 6 months or so before release, if they had said, look, we wanted to get it out by this time. For whatever reason, we're not going to make that deadline. The game's not ready yet.
Yeah.
We're pushing it out another 6 months or a year. I would have been bummed, but again, I would have stuck with my gut and said I'd rather have them put out a finished product than rush it and not done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I mean,
I don't know.
it
It's
it just feels so different because yeah, World it felt solid from the beginning.
yeah.
Because we all played on PS4 first, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, it didn't feel like anything was missing. We were all just upset about the unskippable cutscenes. I was like, that was like our biggest complaint.
Yeah. That and the story we didn't care about. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't care about the story, and especially not the fucking handler. All the way until the day we die, we did not care about that handler.
Yeah. And another thing I think we complained about with World was when you do go into a new quest, if you want to join with someone
Oh, right,
else,
right,
they
right.
have to watch the same cutscene before
Before
they
you
can
can
join
join.
you.
Hmm.
Yeah, which was another big complaint of that.
Yeah,
Rise, they largely got rid of that.
yeah. It was
It was
completely
it was the
gone.
same
Yeah,
cutscene for everyone, and it just showed you in your cutscene,
yeah,
and that was the way it should have been with
yeah.
World.
Which was a nice way for everybody to like watch the same cutscene again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, yeah, but that's a
S
completely different team than World.
Yes. Yeah, that's the mobile team, yeah.
Yeah, which I
Um,
always will say it's the better team. To be honest, like
yeah.
their handheld versions are always better.
Well, and that's how it started, right? Was it on mobile first? No, it was on PlayStation first, right?
Please,
It was
PS2,
on
yeah, hmm,
yeah, okay.
yeah.
So,
But yeah,
but
that mobile team came from Portable Third, I believe.
oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah,
I do
that
remember
same
them saying that,
director.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just I mean, performance is just so bad because the RE engine is not meant for like streaming like textures and whatever environments basically in an open world. Like
Yeah,
it's not built for that.
yeah.
And it has that default washed out look. And actually I went back I came back to streaming Resident Evil 2 remake, and I
Mhm.
noticed that you have to you have to do the same thing you do in Wilds, like your brightness, right? Adjust your brightness and your contrast and all this stuff in the game,
Yeah.
and it kind of fixes it. But then one day I was like, oh, it's got HDR options, and my new monitor has HDR, so I was like, okay, let me try that, and holy balls, what a difference! Like
I can imagine, yeah.
it was like lifelike. I was like, oh man, I don't think I've ever played a fucking game in HDR, and this is crazy. And so now I'm like, okay, I have Wilds installed, so maybe I'll turn on HDR and then it'll look dope. The problem is, if you're streaming that, OBS doesn't pick up the HDR stuff. Like you have to do all this other
Oh,
extra
that's right,
stuff. Like you
yeah,
are
yeah,
streaming the SDR version of it.
yeah.
But I did see some things online where like, oh, you got to change your like color, whatever it's called, your color not preset, but whatever it's called.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, yeah.
And that'll stream it that way to people. So it'll actually stream as HDR content. But I didn't do that today when I streamed because it. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with the RE engine, but you can't do HDR in borderless window, which
Huh.
I know some games like require that. But I literally did it in Hunt Showdown, HDR on borderless window, so
Yeah.
that I could move my mouse outside of the game and stuff and do whatever I want.
Hmm.
But as soon as you do that with Resident Evil 2 Remake, if you like tab out, it just like blinks and blinks in and out. And it's like it's struggling to get out of HDR so
Oh,
that you can do whatever.
yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, dude, I'm going to burn out my brand new monitor doing this. I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, RE Engine is it's trash, dude. I really don't like it. In HDR it looks dope, but it's not streamlined for like anything except consoles, I think. It
Yeah.
struggles on PC to do anything of value, to be honest, in my opinion. So I think that's really what's killing Wilds on top of lack of content, easy monsters. It's just kind of like thing after thing after thing. A handler that now does not leave your side. Like I hate her. I don't
Yeah.
like.
That's I think more annoying. I think Bonnie had a good point at first in that she likes this handler more,
Yeah,
but at the same time, like she's always there. She's always with you. She's always like, just leave me alone, you know?
Do you
Let
know
me
what
do a
day it is
hunt.
tomorrow?
Yeah,
Do you know what
exactly.
day it is tomorrow? Do you know what day it is tomorrow?
yeah, it's awful. It's just like,
Yeah.
dude, like, you don't have to. You pick something up, or you go in the wrong direction, or something, and yeah, it's just that too. They really force you down a linear path,
Oh yeah.
and with the
Yeah.
story parts, and you're just like, dude, I just want to go like 10 feet in this direction.
Mhm.
Just let me go
Mhm.
over here.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think
It's
this.
very, very handholdy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know which story is worse. I think this one's worse, right? Than World.
Well, I think the story is better. I think the fact that they made it open world and they don't let you explore in
Yeah.
the beginning is like really it's suffocating.
Yes,
You
that's the
know,
word.
because there were so many times where it's like you just start out and you're on the brand new map. Like when we first went to the forest, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, look at this area! Look at
Yeah,
that! Look at
yeah,
yeah, this!" And you try to walk over there, it's like, "Nope, you can't go too far. Don't stray too far away." It's like you made an open world and you're not letting me explore it.
yeah.
Like, what's the
Stupid.
point? You know? And even going back to the HDR thing, like, yeah, I agree that Monster Hunter should not have been made in the RE engine. For Resident Evil, it makes sense because it's a dark setting. It's, you know, zombies. It's
Yeah,
usually at night, all that kind of stuff. It makes sense that it's supposed to be dull and drab and
and
grayed out
corridors.
colors and
It's
everything.
corridors,
Yeah.
so you don't have to deal with streaming in another piece of content
Right. Yeah.
across a giant map.
Yeah. With Monster Hunter though, you're talking about a living world with plants and monsters and creatures and all sorts of stuff. It should be vibrant. You
Yes.
know, it should be bright and colorful. I understand that, yeah, during a sandstorm, of course, everything's gonna be kind of grayed out and washed out and everything. But like there's also nice days, you know, or even just in the forest alone, you know,
Yeah.
even though it's dark because the canopy is thick or whatever, there's still going to be colorful flowers and birds and all that kind of stuff. It shouldn't be, you know, like you say, it shouldn't be washed out. It shouldn't be dull and grayed and all that kind of stuff. It should be a vibrant living world, you
Like
know?
like I was bummed out when we got to Uthduna and she didn't look anything like with
Oh
the
yeah.
previews that they showed. And I was like, dude,
Oh
where are these beautiful colors that Uthduna
yeah.
has? You know, like where the fuck is all of that? Like it was
Like
just,
even World was more vibrant than
dude.
that. And I remember that was one of your complaints about World was
Yeah,
everything was muted, you
yeah, because
know?
everything was like Call of Duty Army colors,
Yeah.
and they did have that kind of washed out problem at the beginning, but they fixed it like pretty quickly. This is
Oh
baked
yeah.
into the RE engine. It's baked in.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of it.
Mhm.
But yeah, what else was I going to say about this? Yeah, people have been just returning the world because of this. Like,
Mhm.
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. But yeah, that's my negative hot take. How about that? We'll just call them
Okay.
hot takes instead of news because we're
Yeah.
just ranting.
Yeah. All right. We'll all follow that up with a question for you
Oh, okay.
to ponder and to talk about, or an idea rather, not really a question. What do you think about the phrase "if we aren't allowed to own our
Oh
games,
yes.
then piracy should not be illegal.
If buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing.
Yep.
I love it. It's one of my favorite phrases ever. When I first saw that, I was like, yes, this very much so.
And I want to point out, I'm doing this from a like idea / philosophy, not a legal standpoint. Obviously, piracy is illegal.
Is it?
For a reason?
Is it though?
But should it be? You know,
Right.
Is it justifiable? Is it still justifiable that piracy is illegal if we cannot own anything that we buy?
Right. I mean, there are countries that literally do not give a shit about pirating.
Yeah.
And to kind of play devil's advocate, people I've seen posts. I mean, it's not everybody, but I've seen posts of people who leave Steam reviews and say, "I pirated this game and I loved it so much that I decided to pay the developers because it was so great, and I'm looking forward to
Mhm.
like future updates and stuff." You know, like that's a
Yeah.
wholesome pirate right there. You know, they're
Yes.
just like, "Damn, this fucking game was good. I need to pay for this." You know, because
Mhm.
yeah, there's not that many demos out there, and some demos are trash. Like fucking Wilds, for example. Like we did the beta, that we got to play was like I felt it at the beginning. I was like, oh my god, is this
Yeah.
what the game's going to be? But yeah, yeah, we need more fucking demos or just allow piracy. And if you get money, people are going to pirate. You can't stop them. They're going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, go on.
But yeah, this is I was watching a clip from Linus Tech Tips, one of his he does that,
Oh
that
yeah,
thing every Friday. And he brought that up.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a good point. Especially
on the WAN show.
with on the WAN show, that's what it was. Yeah.
Okay,
thank
yeah, I
you.
listened to that pod. Yeah.
Especially with Nintendo.
Mm.
Have you heard about that? I can't remember what it's called.
Make switch.
Mixed Switch, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where people can have and yeah, you can pirate it, but it's also for
For
copies
your own
of the game
backups.
you actually own. Yeah, your own backups. That their switches were being bricked
Mm-hmm.
because they simply put this in there.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my wife about this a couple months ago about how like with their Nintendo Mini, their NES Mini and SNES Mini and everything like that, like I understand it was around the time of COVID and that there was a chip shortage and everything. I get that. However, they made the choice that we are only doing this for a short period of time,
Mm-hmm.
and they created their own scarcity
Right.
so that they could drive up prices and drive up the demand for them. And what happens when people don't get them with legitimate means?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you go to get those games? Because those consoles aren't available anymore. A lot of those games aren't available anymore.
Yeah.
It's so what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
They're not putting them out on Switch. So the only way to play them is to pirate them.
Yeah, and to add to that, I don't know if you remember this, but I've been watching like E3s and all these things since probably since the PS2, like when they first announced the PS2. I remember watching that one.
Mm-hmm.
And when they announced the Revolution, which is the code name for the Wii, Reggie, I don't know if you remember Reggie Fils-Aimé. He was in charge of the Nintendo of America back in those days.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
That guy was hella funny. That guy and who's the guy that died who took over after him? Well, not took out. He was the Japanese head president.
I don't remember.
He took a pay cut because the 3DS and the Wii U did so bad. Just so he didn't have no one had to be let go. He took a huge pay cut.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what bosses are supposed to do. By the way.
Yes. Yeah. That's the honorable way of doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Reggie. I don't know if he was told incorrect information or what, but he said that on the Revolution, the Wii, the Wii,
Mm-hmm.
they were going to have the entire NES library available for free, bro.
Oh.
They said that back in the day before it launched, and then they didn't. Then then the next time when they finally were like, here's the Wii, then they're like, here's the eShop. And I don't know why nobody was up in arms about this, or maybe I just didn't notice it, but yeah, it was just like, what the hell? Where are all the NES games that you promised us?
Yeah.
There's no other way to play these unless we keep our consoles, dude. And no, instead they were selling these games to us for $5-10. Like, what the fuck, man? I for sure did, like always, I'm a sucker for Ocarina of Time. I will buy it over and over and over.
Yeah.
But this drip feeding of fucking not even good NES games on the Switch is a goddamn
Mhm.
slap in the face to the fandom.
Yeah, they'll give you 1 or 2 classics, and then the rest is like, "I've never heard of this," or "This is like some weird indie producer or something." Yeah,
Japanese
it's like
games on the American
yeah,
store.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I was talking to our friend Erock too, because he's been looking to get some Pokemon cards recently for his nephew,
Mhm.
and he every time he goes to try to buy them, they're out of stock, and when he does find them in stock, they're super expensive. And I said, I don't support Pokemon anymore. I don't support Nintendo, and here's why.
Yeah.
The Pokemon Company is the largest gaming franchise in the world, no doubt about it.
Mhm.
There's no arguing that. They have the resources to print out so many cards if they wanted to, and have everyone have 5 copies of each card if they wanted to. They had the power to do that because that's what they used to do. There used to be plenty of cards, and yeah, you would see all the news like, "Oh, this card's worth this much. This card's worth this much." Bah humbug. The card's worth as much as someone's going to pay for it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what anyone says it's worth. When it comes down to it, it's going to be worth as much as someone's willing to pay for it. That's all there is to it.
Mhm.
Anyway, so he's talking about like, it's this special edition, like 151 something, pack that he wants to get, and it's like $20 for a box or something like that. And I was like, dude, it's not worth it. I was like, think about this. They have the resources, they have the ability, they have the money and everything to make plenty of those cards. They choose not to.
Yeah.
So again, so they can drive up scarcity and cause all these people to go in and buy them and try to sell them for twice the price and everything. All those that issue, in of itself is a problem nowadays. But again, because of scarcity,
Yeah.
and they are just letting this happen on purpose, I believe, because they have the resources to print them out. If they don't have the resources to print them out all at once, then do it over several months and let them all go at one time,
Mhm.
because guess what? If you don't have scarcity, there's no reason for scalpers to buy all these things. And if they do, they're going to be out money because everyone that wants them has them anyway.
Yeah.
So, there's no reason for that. So, but yeah, that's a different type. That's a different topic for another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I am very much for, if you're not allowed to own what you buy, then piracy should be illegal.
Should be illegal?
Should be legal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it should not be piracy. Yeah.
Yeah, like if this is, I agree with this statement I'm about to say that I've heard is, if you make it available to me for a reasonable price, I will buy it.
Yeah.
I've done it before.
Oh, people will. Yeah.
I've bought Oblivion remake, and I've never even beaten that damn game. I have Skyrim so many times. I have Ocarina of Time so many times. Final Fantasy 9 so many times, and because they were at a reasonable price and available to me, and on a new system that I wanted to play them on, like, just do that, Nintendo. Like, why do you hate your they're not even your fandom anymore. Why do you hate your consumers, dude?
Yeah.
Like, they're just numbers on your graph now, and you hate them. It's I don't understand. I don't understand, dude. It's
yeah. And I want to be clear, Nintendo's not the only one doing this.
Right.
But they are certainly leading the way.
Yes, they are leading the charge. Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a drag. And especially with their online for the Switch.
Yeah.
Because you can have the basic online, which is what, $5 a month, I think it is, something like that, $4 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, or you pay $40 a year or something. It's like it's cheap.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. But if you want to have like the 3DS games, or is it 3DS? Is it DS? Maybe it's DS. Anyway, they lock some of those behind the higher level package, which is, it's not that much more. It's like $7
I get what you're
a
saying.
month at that
N64 and I think GameCube
Sega,
now.
I think, as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, make those available to everyone.
Yeah.
First of all, you don't even have voice included with your online, because you have to use your phone, and even then it only works with certain games.
Yeah.
And it's just like, nobody plays those games anyway.
But now they've solved that with the Switch 2 and the C button that doesn't work unless you play for online. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that shitty video camera. Oh my God. It's running at like 12 frames per second, dude. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. That's how I want to see my friends, is 12 frames per second.
Dude, we've had at least 30 frame per second videos since the early 2000s on computer. Like I don't understand. The
Yeah,
PS4
it's
and the Xbox One.
yeah, and it's certainly not a thing about bandwidth.
Yeah, no,
They
it's not.
cannot use that excuse.
No, it's the console itself. It just can't do
Yeah.
it. It can't do it, and they're
Yeah.
trying to squeeze everything they can out of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my thought, is that yeah, if companies want to say you can purchase this but you don't get to own it,
Right, you're just licensing.
yeah, and at any whim or desire, we will terminate that license based on something or nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to either find a substitute or you go without it. That's up to you, and we don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
then absolutely we should be allowed to pirate that kind of stuff, and it shouldn't be considered piracy at that point.
Yeah. And just kind of like to bring up that story a little bit. The Stop Killing Games initiative in the EU
Mhm.
has reached over 1 million signs for their petition. So yeah, they're trying to get live services to stop killing games and stuff like that, and that's another fight against because corporations forcing us to want to go pirate
Yeah.
games that we want to play. Like Anthem's going to be done in what, like a couple months or something, and
Is it? Okay.
yeah, and people, I mean, as shitty as that game turned out to be as far as like content wise, I heard it's like the game loop was really fun,
Yeah.
but it was just missing content, which sucks because when I saw it, I was like, that seems kind of cool, but it's kind of weird that it's coming from BioWare, but it looked dope. Like you're just in an Iron Man suit, just killing shit,
Yeah.
looter shooter. I was like, that sounds tight.
Yeah. That's funny you should mention that, because I just downloaded that recently.
Anthem?
Yurok and I were playing that. Yeah, Yurok and I were going to play that together. Yeah.
Well, you guys got
So,
like
okay.
weeks now.
Good to know. Cool. Awesome. Love
Yeah.
that.
I mean, that's enough time for Eric to get to play and to get bored of it.
That's true.
It's just
That's
enough
true.
time.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. Well, got any more on that?
No, that's pretty much it for me. I'm curious what others think, what everyone else thinks about that.
Yeah.
Especially younger generation, like they don't know especially I think you think about kids growing up now, right? They're going to grow up in a world where almost everything is digital. There are no hard copies.
Yeah.
And if Nintendo has anything to say about it, even the hard copies don't really matter, because it's just a key
Yeah.
to download the game.
Yeah.
And so they're never going to know the difference between a digital download game versus a hard copy, where even if you're not connected to the internet, or they shut down that service or whatever, you can still play that game because you have a hard copy of it.
Yep.
So they're not going to know that, and that kind of makes me sad.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as to what their thoughts would be on that, because that's going to be their norm growing up.
Yeah.
So how's that going to work?
Yeah. You accept
And how are they going to feel about that?
You accept the environment that you grow up in.
Yeah.
That's your norm. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
All right. Well, that's actually a perfect segue into my upbeat hot take or whatever news. Nintendo's ability to brick Nintendo Switch 2 consoles is being challenged in Brazil.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this story like right when we were gonna record last week. I forget what happened that we didn't do it, but I was like, oh my God, I don't think anyone is talking about this. And literally no one was talking about it then. I was like, dude, we're gonna break this story. And fucking now Young Ya's talking about it. Fucking everyone's talking about it. I was like, God damn it. I wanted to be first at something. But yeah, so they're being challenged in Brazil. It's not exactly great news because it's not worldwide, but at least for Brazil, who for sure has like a huge like secondhand not market, but you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
people buy and sell Nintendo games and consoles and stuff like that over there.
Yeah.
And with the quote unquote bricking, because it's technically not even being bricked, what it is you're being permanently banned from Nintendo Online,
Yeah.
which pretty much renders your console useless also, because
Yep.
almost everything needs to be connected. So it's like,
Yeah.
so if you buy a game that is only the key, how do you get the game if you need to be online, right?
Yep.
Hopefully that doesn't require like online, but either way, your C button is done for. You can't use it for camera or any of that shit. You can't. I don't even think you can get into the eShop. Like, who knows what the heck they're rendering useless by doing this? But
Yeah, it's insane.
But yeah, Brazil has a consumer protection law, basically that yeah, so they're suing them. Like the country of Brazil is suing Nintendo, and they're taking them to freaking court, saying that their EULA, which is the end user license agreement, is abusive. Is the word that they used.
I would use the same words to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, dude, people have done so many different examples of like, it's like if somebody fucking, it's like if you bought shoes at Foot Locker and Foot Locker didn't like the way you fucking Sharpied it. And then they came back to your house and were like, hey, we're taking these back because you fucking Sharpied your Foot Locker shoes.
Mm-hmm.
We're taking them, It's,
Yeah.
it's fucked up. You see, this is the whole, it goes back to what you're saying. If buying isn't owning, if I'm buying a Nintendo Switch 2 and you're telling me I don't own this fucking thing.
And this is hardware.
This is hardware. Yeah. I don't own this thing.
It's not just software anymore.
Exactly. How are you going to tell me I don't fucking own this thing? It's in my hands. I paid for it. I have a receipt. Like, it's just so yeah, I hope that really that just Brazil fucking sticks it to them, because yeah, dude, it's this is not a slippery slope. This is just Nintendo being dickheads. Like they've always been, by the way. They've always been this way. And of course, because we were young, it wasn't like we were letting them get away with it. We just didn't know any better.
Yeah.
It was just what we grew up in. Like I said, it's the environment we grew up in, and it was like, oh, okay. Like, for example, back in the day, when Nintendo came out, there was the Nintendo seal of approval, right? And it was stamped on every cartridge. So then that way you knew that it was quality checked, and that you knew you weren't getting a crap product, because Nintendo reviewed it and they said this is good. Because the problem that happened with Atari and Intellivision and Coleco and all that shit,
there was no
quality control.
Yeah.
And people blame ET for the crash of '83. It's crazy that this information is still spread. That ET was responsible for the crash of '83 of the video game crash.
I wouldn't think that. ET was a terrible game, but it did not. It would not.
Well, you know what?
It wasn't enough to bring down the Atari.
It turns out it's not a terrible game. Like, it was an Atari game. All Atari games were, of a certain quality.
That's true. Yeah.
I think there is like one thing in the game where it's just like, dude, what the fuck? It's like you fall down these holes and then you're supposed to like get back out. But as soon as you get out, if you press the wrong direction, you fall right back into the hole. So I think that's why people are like,
I remember falling in those holes and I couldn't figure out how to get out of them.
Yeah, just go the other direction.
And then the sheriff came and shot us or something.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyways, it wasn't ET. It was the lack of quality control. And the problem is ET was released pretty much when the crash was happening. And that's why there was so many ET cartridges in the landfill. Because, Steven Spielberg and whoever the fuck else made this game were like, what do we do with these? Well, we're just fucking throwing them into a landfill. And that story is true. Like, the video game nerd literally went out to go look, like, with everybody else who were like, let's see if these cartridges are really in this landfill. And yeah, there wasn't like a ton, but there was like, oh man, there's a bunch of fucking ET cartridges here. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, that's the seal of approval. So that seal of approval not only was like a quality check, but it was also a this is our console, and nobody can make more than a certain amount of games per year, right? So now it's like, but why? We have plenty of games to release on there, and as long as you say they're quality, they should be allowed on your system.
Yeah.
And they weren't. And so what they did is certain companies, I think Konami being one of them, and I forget who else, reverse engineered the cartridges and figured out a way to make their own cartridges. And that's why, do you remember seeing black NES cartridges?
Not specifically, but
so let me see if I can find one. There was a company that kind of came out of nowhere, and because they started doing like subsidies, right? Or not subsidies, but what's the word? Like, Konami had another company under it, You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, like parent companies and
Yeah, so like
like child companies or whatever.
yeah, so they can make more games and stuff like that. But also
Yeah.
they couldn't really get away with that because Nintendo knew. But there's a company called Tengen, and they made black cartridges. Let me share this image with you.
Okay.
And they released a bunch of games like this. I can't remember what company it was. Let's see. Let me see if I look who was Tengen. It is a subsidiary. Tengen was a subsidiary of Atari Games of all people. It was Atari. Yeah, like Pac-Man was released as one of these black cartridges.
Okay.
Yeah, oddly enough. See, look, Pac-Man, Tengen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's why there was these weird black cartridges. So if you're ever out there like looking for old NES games and you're like, "Whoa, why the fuck is this not gray like the normal ones? Why is it black?"
Mhm.
That's why, because Nintendo had a stranglehold and they were like, "No." And so these were literally like black market cartridges basically. They were black and they were selling them outside of Nintendo's knowledge. There was no seal of approval on these. Which kind of put the video game industry not in danger, but it pissed Nintendo off.
Oh yeah.
And of course, lawsuits and whatever, but it's like you can't fucking do anything about it. Like, can you prove that we reverse engineered it? Like, prove it.
Yeah.
In a court of law, you can't.
Yep.
And what else was I gonna say about that? Yeah, no, they just like Nintendo are bullies from like day one. But no, they're just always I don't know, dude. Like they just need to stop fucking being like this. Like
Yeah.
they invented like a whole Nintendo creator program for YouTube because they were striking everyone's goddamn let's plays and everything and that. And it's like, well, we want a piece of the cake. And it's like, dude, we're advertising for free.
Yeah.
Like we're advertising your game for free. Like why? I don't. It's just yeah. So hopefully the country of Brazil just fucking yeah, just figures out a way to plead their case and claim victory for Brazil.
Yeah.
And I know there's other countries I think that have consumer protection laws. I think Australia might be somebody. I don't know if the EU does or some countries in the EU, but we definitely are not one of them. We won't see this in our neck of the woods
No.
anytime soon. But this sounds like good news for Brazil.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
a lot
especially
to say
since
about that.
especially since Brazil has like ridiculously high taxes on games and consoles and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
it's so expensive for them to get anything, whether it's a game, a console, a computer, whatever, it's just their taxes are so high on that kind of stuff that it's ridiculous.
Dude, when the
And
J1s would come to town when I lived in at the lake, like I would drive them to like Carson and stuff when like Circuit City was around
Mhm.
to buy their electronics
Oh
because
yeah.
it was so cheap for them.
Mhm.
They're like, dude, it's nuts where we're at. They're from like Chile and Argentina and Brazil, and they're like, it's fucking nuts down there. It sucks.
Yeah.
And another thing that this would help too is because, like I said, if like Brazil's like they like their secondhand stuff. If your Switch ends up being permabanned or someone uses the key to a game that they returned,
Mhm.
like the next person who buys it is fucked. And it's already
Yeah.
happened to people who have bought used Switch 2s that are already banned, and it's just like, great, now what?
Mhm. And it's easy. It'd be easy to scam someone like that. You just,
Yeah.
yeah, here, take this. It's for sale as is, and then they buy it and oh, well, I paid all this money for it and I can't even use it.
Yeah. And eBay doesn't give a shit.
No, yeah, they don't care.
eBay's not gonna
They're just gonna
fucking
tell you, oh, go out and buy another one.
yeah. It says as is,
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, there's that one. That's good news. I know it sounded like
Yeah.
bad shit and negativity, but it's good news for countries with consumer protection laws.
I've got some good news too.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I've talked about Pal World before and their
Okay.
their challenging of Pokemon and everything like that. A new fighter has entered the arena.
Oh, what? I feel like we need that sound effect. I'll insert it here in the future. Future me,
Yeah.
put in the challenger approaches from Smash Brothers.
It is a game called Aniimo. Aniimo.
Ooh, let me look this up.
That's Aniimo.
I.
Um,
Oh, they're so cute. Oh, this is AI
Yeah.
generated, dude. This has to be AI.
I don't think so.
Really?
I saw a couple of videos on it. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm looking at their website and everything. Yeah. So it's
Oh my
a
god, they're
brand new
adorable.
game. It's still in beta.
Okay.
You can sign up for open beta, I guess, or closed beta rather. Sorry. And it's very Pokemon like. They are very self aware that it is a Pokemon competition,
Yeah.
and that is what they're aiming for. And I think that's a good thing.
Okay.
A lot of their creatures are clearly inspired by Pokemon. And if Pokemon complains about that, well, they have openly discussed that they have taken their creature ideas from Dragon Quest. So screw you, Pokemon. You know, if you want to try to copyright those or whatever.
Yeah.
Which fun fact is why they didn't try to get Pal World with that, because they knew that they didn't have a leg to stand on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But anyway, I guess say it's a new RPG. And one thing that kind of makes it stand out from others is you don't capture them per se, but you can do what's called twinning with them,
Okay.
and you become that creature, and you can use its
What?
abilities to travel through the world.
Bro. So that's
Yeah.
they almost like they literally I did click this. I'm trying to sign up for the freaking thing. Let me. You have to sign up for their like newsletter or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, I lost my train of thought. Oh, they're literally sidestepping the capturing mechanic
Mhm.
and the writing of the animals that
Yep.
Pal World is being sued for.
Yeah.
That's fucking
And I
great.
think it's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And they fully are aware that they are direct competition with Pokemon. And I was like, you know what?
Yes. Claps in
Good
the
for
chat,
you.
please.
Yeah. And I mean, it looks beautiful. Everything looks gorgeous. It's not super high res. It's not super like realistic, but that's fine. Pokemon was never meant to be super realistic, you know?
Right.
But Pokemon has never looked like this either.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is just beautiful. I saw a couple of videos of like some gameplay that they were doing. It's just a loop basically at this point because it's still early on in development and everything.
Okay.
I have no idea
Paw
when.
Print Studios, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea when it'll be released or any updates like that. I'll have to look into that some more. I literally just heard about this earlier today.
Okay. So
Less than an hour ago. Yeah.
wow.
So this is brand new for me. But yeah,
Breaking. You heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the twinning thing alone, I think is so awesome. You
Yeah.
get to actually turn into the creature and use that to unlock new parts of the world or find new things.
Oh, dude, you know
I'm
what?
sure there's going to be like puzzles and stuff you can do with that. Like,
I think the Pokemon Company might have something to say actually about the twinning thing. You watch the Detective Pikachu, right?
Oh yeah.
What happens at the end?
Yeah.
The Mewtwo thing.
But I mean,
yeah. And then fuck it and be like, fuck it, man.
Yeah.
Be like, that's a movie. This is a video game.
Yeah. As far as I know, they can't put a copyright on that, can they? I hope not. I'm sure they'll find some way. But
just because you just reminded me of Nintendo patenting Breath of the Wild mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Yeah. So stupid. You can't do that. It's a video game. Like that's literally like someone patenting the fucking save icon. Could you imagine?
Yeah, and then you wouldn't be able to save anymore. Yeah. Or you'd have to use a different icon.
A different icon? Yeah, I'd be like, what is this thing? I don't know. Kids don't even know what that thing is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What is the save icon?
icon?
Yeah, they call it the save icon. It's a floppy disk, you guys. It's a floppy disk. No, we didn't change it when USBs came out, which would have been funny. Could you imagine?
Oh man.
Look like little USB connectors.
That'd be funny. Or a little hard drive or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Aniimo.
But yeah. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a like story thing down here. It says step into the world of Aniimo, a vibrant next gen ARPG, sorry.
Yeah.
Which vibrant is the way I would describe it. Yes.
It's very colorful.
Yeah.
I have never seen a like even what is it? Arceus and Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously this is a pre-rendered cutscene, but even just the designs, this looks like a happy game.
Yeah. Idil, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. A realm where countless Aniimo, thrive in diverse, vibrant biomes.
Idil, maybe? Idil,
yeah. The Aniimo universe is a living story that responds to you. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Like this is everything we wanted as gamers.
Yeah. Game Freak is
You
like,
know,
it does. These do react to you. They have a real time clock.
yeah.
Okay.
Beyond Battle, train Aniimo to unlock the deepest stories, which I'm not sure what
Yeah,
that
I know
means.
that.
It seems like it was translated badly or something.
So wait, do you fight alongside these guys?
It
Because
looks like it,
yeah,
or you might be able to fight as them, possibly.
the character with short shorts has a hammer.
Yeah.
Bonnie's gonna be happy.
Yeah.
Hammer mains out there.
And twinning with an Aniimo takes your adventure to the next level.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it looks beautiful. It's got some of the Aniimo here, I guess. Here's Ember Pup.
Yeah.
You know, looks like your basic little fox type thing. That's fire, obviously.
Clearly an
you
Eevee.
Yeah. You've got Celestis, which is like a flying squirrel type thing.
Okay.
You know,
I love how they have them numbered like like a Pokédex.
Yeah,
it's great.
Exactly. Bud Claw, which is one of the ones we saw in that little intro there, which is just freaking adorable. Audie, which I thought was a bear at first.
Oh no, he's clearly an otter.
I
You
saw
can
it
totally
saw it movie.
I want one of those.
Yeah, that looks so cute. And then Nimby, which I heard someone say in one of the videos it looked like Mareep. I'm not sure if you know who Mareep is, but I don't think it looks like Mareep at all.
Nah, bro. I know the first 151, and that's about it. That's all I know.
I'll show you. Hang on. This is Mareep.
Oh, yeah.
They said it looks exactly like that. It does not.
No, it's a sheep.
They're both sheep.
Yeah, they're both sheep, dude.
But it doesn't look anything like Mareep.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Yeah. No, I think this is awesome.
Yeah.
And I think more companies should step up and do this. Even if they don't plan on like actually fully releasing the game, making a bunch of money.
Yeah.
If it's just to piss off Nintendo and Pokemon, I'm all for it.
Yeah. And you know, last time you were saying that Nintendo was suing Pal World or Pocket Pal because they were a threat, like they were competition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's what it is anymore because as we're watching all this, I'm reminded of Genshin Impact. Why didn't they sue Genshin Impact for the Breath of the Wild, like clear Breath of the Wild ripoffs?
Yeah.
The music that was going around, the glider, the art style, the climb anything. Why didn't they go after them? And I think what it is they know they can't push whoever the company Genshin Impact is developed by. I
can't think of it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And Pocket Pal, they're small.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a pattern Nintendo does all the time when you think about it.
Yeah.
There was a guy one time. I was so excited about this. This is back when I was in college, like 2004-ish. There was a guy that was remaking Ocarina of Time in 2D, and he was sharing his progress, and he said he had most of the game done,
mm-hmm.
and Nintendo filed a cease and desist, and he had to scrap the whole thing. Yeah, a fan game, and yeah, it's the small guys that they go after.
Yeah, which it doesn't make sense because one, you're not going to get any money from them.
Right.
Two, they're not big enough to be, like you said, they're not big enough to be true competition.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are you that scared? Are you that pathetic that you're just like, nope, we can't have you doing that because we don't want you to grow and become big and become actual competition.
Yeah, I don't know what
heaven
it is.
forbid we should have to improve our services or, you know, have someone pushing us to be better or anything, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Hoyoverse. Copyright Cognosphere. That's who makes Genshin Impact ?
Yeah, Hoyoverse, yeah. I believe they're the same ones that do Zenless Zone Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Easy Top, as German says.
Easy Top. Yeah. German nicknames for everything are so hilarious. But yeah, I think, Nintendo was just like, we can't sue this giant Chinese company. Because isn't it also like Tencent maybe a little bit?
I wouldn't be surprised. Tencent's a big company. It's probably one of their subsidiaries. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's see. Publisher. Oh, no. MiHoYo from China. Hoyoverse Global. Okay. Yeah, they don't have anything to do with Tencent. But I would not have been surprised if that was so. But yeah, this looks dope.
But
I'm also kind of reminded of have you heard of what is it called? It's a Sims clone that's coming out. Like it's in early access right now.
No.
Let me see what it's called. What is it called? No, not Paralives. But yeah, like EA isn't suing these people. Inzoi.
Yeah.
Inzoi is what it's called.
And okay.
and it's like hyper realistic.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, like this is what it looks like. Like people have been able to play it. It's an insanely early access stage. Like the game's super broken. Like cars don't behave right, whatever this and that. But yeah, it's like yeah, there is no other Sims like out there, and
Yeah, that's true.
it's weird that Nintendo will sue over similarities, but other companies are just like, oh yeah, no, this is fine.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if there weren't any Doom clones? We would never have
Oh
first person
jeez.
shooters.
Yeah. Everything would just be Doom.
Yeah, but
Instead of Call of Duty, be Call of Doom.
the thing that actually fascinates me about this game is the reasoning behind all of this that it's happening. For some reason, this world has cat overlords,
Huh.
like giant cats. I don't know
Okay.
why, but I want to know why. Like, see the cat in
Yeah.
the thing? That's not just, for shits and giggles. Like it's one of your overlords or something. I don't know what the fuck is
That's
going on.
funny.
But yeah, it's an early access. You can get 10% off right now on Steam. Reasonably priced, $40,
Yeah.
For that high fidelity, it's pretty nuts. I think it's in a little bit of controversy because they're using AI for certain things, but it's, if they're a small developer, it's like helping them do stuff.
Yeah.
I,
Well,
I
I think it depends on what they're using it for. If they're using it for like art or creation of anything like that, I think that's not okay.
I think they're doing it for like textures.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, textures you could just as easily download off the internet. So
Yeah. Or
yeah, what's
take a
the point?
picture of something and make it fucking tile. It's not
Yeah,
not that difficult nowadays.
yeah,
But no, yeah, this is good news. I'm pretty
yeah.
stoked about this. That's what I was gonna say. This is it seems multi-platform. I don't know if it would be crossplay if there was multiplayer, but yeah, cross-platform is what it says here. It says
Yeah,
when you try to sign up, it says PC, mobile, or console.
yeah. It's coming for Xbox, PC, and mobile. Yep.
Yeah, what's an Xbox?
I don't know. It's something that soon won't exist.
It's
So
everything. An
yeah.
Xbox is everything. Yeah.
PlayStation, and Xbox.
Okay. Yeah. Should I do a bonus just because of this one thing that I think you already know what I'm going to talk about?
Yeah, go for it.
Xbox and Microsoft. What the fuck are they doing? Their fourth round of layoffs, 9,000 people
Jeez.
across all things. And mostly, it seems like mostly things inside of the Xbox. So, like Activision, Blizzard King, whatever, Bethesda, whatever the fuck everything that they own.
Hmm.
The high praises I was giving them last time for finally saying, throwing in the towel and saying, we should just be publishers. They're not even fucking good at that, dude. They closed down Tango GameWorks after Hi-Fi Rush was like praised, beyond belief. Like this game is amazing. Okay, shut down that studio. It's just every time Microsoft makes a great decision, they shoot themselves in the dick, dude.
Hmm.
It's I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say about like. There's not much I could say that everybody else in the internet has not already said, but I just I was doing the Monster Hunter story, and then this broke, and I was like, Jesus Christ, like what the hell, dude?
Yeah.
I honestly just want them to go away. Like I remember hating Microsoft and Xbox when they came out just because I was a Sony fanboy
Hmm.
and a Nintendo fanboy. But after a while, I was like, okay, yeah, give them a fair shot. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah.
And then they just kept fucking it up over and over and over. And now they're not just fucking it up, but they're fucking up people's lives.
Yeah.
And that needs to fucking stop. They just need to go away. To be honest, they're not good at what they do. They just need to be a platform. Like just let us play games on Windows. That's it, and fuck off.
Yeah. Well, as soon as like, and that started trending a few years ago when Microsoft started buying up all those companies like Bethesda and all those companies, I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
It wasn't anyone who knows anything about how business works knows that's what's going to happen.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah. And they kept buying up these companies, and then you hear about layoffs, and we're going to buy up another company, so there's going to be more layoffs. And they'd always promise, no, we're not going to lay anyone off. 6 months later, what happened?
Yeah.
30% of the company is fired. 20% of the company's been laid off. Whatever. It's like you just said this wasn't going to happen. Stop buying companies to do the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
It's and it sucks
It's jacked.
because the people whose jobs were lost didn't have a say in that stuff.
Yeah.
It was all the CEOs and the corporate people doing all these deals and making negotiations and everything, and then selling their companies. And then the employees are like, we didn't get a say in this, we didn't get to vote, we have no part in this at all, and they're the ones losing their jobs because they're not firing the CEOs and the corporate folk.
Yeah.
They're moving around. Yeah, they're getting new jobs, whatever it may be, but they're not getting laid off. And if they are, they're getting a handsome, benefits package or whatever, I'm sure, and final pay and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
it's
And
gotta stop.
and fuck Phil Spencer. Like
Yeah.
I just always knew, man. Like P Diddy too. I was just like, he's just too fucking. Something's wrong with him, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Something not adding up. Yeah.
yeah, something's not adding up. Like he was literally like the hello fellow gamers thing. He talked like he was a fucking gamer. He like people were like, yeah, look how many hours he has on fucking like Halo Reach or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, and he runs a company at the same time, and he has time to do all this.
Mhm.
I don't fucking think so. I think somebody else
Yeah.
was playing on his fucking account. Yeah, but him and what is her face? The actual president of fucking Xbox.
Oh, I can't remember her name, but yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I want to get her name correct. Sarah Bond. So corporate and cold, like a fucking
Mhm.
doctor telling you you have cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, she sucks too. Fuck both of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, just wanted to give that little bonus there. You don't have any bonus side ones?
No. I think that's pretty much it for me. So I gave my bonus side one earlier about the whole AI bans.
What?
Remember I was saying on Spotify there was an AI
Oh,
ban?
right. Yeah.
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 Like, you-
Oh, I do have a correction for myself from last time. Remember I was
Okay.
like, I was like, yeah, it fucking doesn't go to 120 hertz when you have it docked.
Mhm.
That's not the thing. I knew I was getting it wrong as I was saying it. The feature that doesn't work in docked mode, which I don't know if they've fixed already, is variable refresh rate.
Oh.
So VRR works in docked or in handheld mode, but not in docked mode, which is stupid because it's like,
You would
dude,
think it would be the opposite.
yes, exactly. That's exactly why I'm like, what what are you guys doing, dude? I don't know.
That's so back assward. Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah. I'm glad I haven't been riding the console ship for a while. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't I wasn't excited for PS5. Definitely not fucking Xbox in their naming schemes.
Well, and like I don't understand why consoles are doing this now. I don't know if it's a new trend or what. And PS5 did the same thing, and I there's a reason I waited to get my PS5 and I shouldn't have gotten it. I still shouldn't have gotten it. I have buyer's remorse now. But anyway, that's beside the point. Nintendo released a brand new console with one game. One what do you call it?
First party game.
First party game. Why?
I know.
Why?
And even the third parties, what's new?
Yeah.
They just
Like I was
did Switch 2 editions of stuff.
Yeah, and I don't get it, And the PS5 was the same way for the first year or two that it was out. There was not a lot of games to choose from
Yeah.
that were worth it. It's like, oh, you can play all your PS4 games. I have my PS4 for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I what's you're not there's no reason for me to buy this product from you. You're not you're not making me want to buy this. There's nothing enticing me to do it.
Yeah.
And like I think even if I was on the Nintendo bandwagon right now and wanted to buy a Switch 2, I wouldn't buy it right now because there's only one first party game.
Yeah.
And even then I've heard like it's not that great. I've heard some people say that the open world part of Mario Kart World
It's fucking boring.
is kind of lackluster. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's not a lot out there.
Yeah, people are literally
I'm
going
not
back
surprised.
to people are literally going back to Diddy Kong Racing and going, why didn't they do this?
Yeah.
This is dope. Why did they do this?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not to
man.
mention, and this, like, I understand there's gonna be, little gateways and shortcuts and things for every game. There's gonna be little things you can manipulate and like there's this little hole in the wall here. You can take advantage of that and do a speed run strats. But have you watched any of the videos on them speed running the tracks?
No, but I've heard. Yeah,
It's not
it's
about
fun
racing
for anybody
anymore.
anymore, dude.
Yeah, it's not about racing anymore.
Yeah.
It's not Mario Kart. It's so ridiculous. I saw a video where someone was somehow outspeeding the blue shell. That should not be possible. That if I shoot a blue shell it doesn't hit the person in first place, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
You know, this whole point of it is a guaranteed hit for the person first.
Yeah. Or
And
if
there's
you had the
people,
little speaker, but that's it. If you got
yeah,
lucky again, you had the speaker in your hand.
yeah, exactly. But even that was later, you know.
Yeah.
Like I just it's just like it's not Mario Kart anymore.
And to add to that, did you hear when people are playing online and they do like random,
Mm-hmm.
it would because there's like little intermission tracks that are just like straight, not straight,
Oh,
but
okay,
just
yeah.
like not laps.
Yeah.
It's just like a one shot, whatever. And people were
Mm-hmm.
like, well, these aren't very interesting for online. And random would actually not really pick those very often or at all.
Okay.
And fucking Nintendo was like, well, we want people to choose these, right? So, because people weren't choosing them, they were just hitting random so
Mm-hmm.
that they wouldn't get those intermission tracks.
Yeah.
And Nintendo was just like, well, that's not the way we want you to play this game. So they patched random to now include those intermission tracks more often.
Oh, jeez.
Like, you really don't own the thing you bought when people can just change it on you. What a bunch of fuckheads, dude.
And like Nintendo had to have known that's why they were avoiding it.
Exactly.
There's got to be some level of common sense. Like, there's got to be a reason they're not doing this. Maybe because they don't like it. I know. Let's force it on them.
Yeah, they're bullies, dude. They're bullies.
Yeah.
And they
Mario
are
Kart.
good.
Mario Kart used to be a lot of fun for me.
Yeah.
I grew up. I did not play the original Mario Kart on SNES.
Yeah, me neither.
But I did have it on N64, and I absolutely loved it. And I got to the point to where that was my game. That was my jam.
That's my jam, dude. Fucking
There were very few people who could beat me.
Let's dual stream that shit, man.
Who's your racer of choice?
Wario.
Really? Okay.
I'm gonna win.
Mine was Yoshi.
Okay.
Yoshi was my boy.
You are my target. If we play, I'm gonna be hitting you because you're tiny. That's what I always did. Like if I had a big ass character, just fucking like boom. Especially if you're doing the verses.
Oh yeah.
Like you could just hit a smaller character and just destroy their balloon. Like it was great.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, but yeah, I love that. Oh man, I put hours and hours into that game. Loved it.
That's like the one game my dad played with me.
Really?
We
Okay.
loved Mario Kart. Yeah, we both would play that shit.
Yeah, and then I remember, and this was long after its release. I got a GameCube, and I got Double Dash, and I remember thinking like, this isn't my Mario Kart. I don't really like this. You know, the whole having two players was kind of weird, but I got used to it. I go over it. I was like, all right, it's an interesting new concept.
Yeah.
I appreciate that they were trying something new, and I didn't necessarily like it. I don't know how the general population felt about it.
I never played it, yeah, so I don't know. And I have it too, but I've never played it.
It kind of grew on me after a while. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of grew on me, you know.
Yeah.
And the fact that you could play co-op with one cart, I thought was cool too.
Yeah, that was the whole point, right?
Yeah. As opposed to having a split screen all the time, you get to have your single screen and you just have the two people and you switch back and forth between one controls the items and one drives, you know. And I thought that was pretty cool. You know, it's innovative. They're trying something new. I can't fault them for that.
Yeah,
if it didn't work, it didn't work. You know, move on to something else. But yeah, and then I didn't play after that until I think the Switch, Mario Kart Deluxe.
Holy shit! So you skipped 7 on the 3DS?
Yeah.
Damn, that was a good one, dude.
I heard, and there was a lot of tracks from the 3DS that were on Deluxe.
It introduced the glider and the underwater stuff, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, because I remember the track with the underwater pipes and the eels that you ride.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's the 3DS one.
Okay.
So damn, you also skipped the Wii.
Yep.
That's when they introduced bikes.
Yeah. That's when Zelda was added, right?
Yeah, Link
rather.
Yeah, that's right. The was it a level? Is that where the level came from? But yeah, that's when Link was introduced. Wait, no, that can't be right.
Was it after?
I think maybe after. I think
Okay.
in the Wii U era, because that's when they added like the motorcycle to Breath of the Wild.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Something like that. I don't know. I might be completely wrong. You might be right. But yeah, damn, yeah. So you didn't get to play original 8. You played Deluxe. You had everything fucking unlocked already.
Yep.
Dude, I fucking busted my ass to get all that shit on 8 and Wii U.
Yeah. Well, that was half the fun of it, was unlocking all that new stuff and new characters and everything. But yeah, and then with with Deluxe, of course, they had that new thing where if you had Nintendo Online, it didn't matter which version. If you had the lower version, it still worked.
Mm-hmm.
For like a year, every few months, they would release some new tracks,
Right.
and it was for a good price. I want to say it was like $12 or $24 or something, like $25 for the DLC, and it was like a lot of new tracks. I don't remember how many.
We're talking about the Switch?
Yeah.
Well, if you have expansion pack, the higher tier online, they gave you that shit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you
'cause I
got the
remember
N64 games and
I
that.
did remember I didn't have to pay for it. Yeah.
And the New Horizons. What is that? Animal Crossing, New Horizons
Yeah.
DLC. All that shit was all included.
Yeah. And it was like a bunch of new tracks and new cars and stuff. And I was like, that's awesome.
What's funny is like I only played like the first round of those and then just completely fell off of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like I didn't go back to check all that shit.
I'll be honest, I don't think I even played the first round of I haven't played that for a long time. Yeah.
That's funny.
My family, some of my cousins, my brother-in-law, and my sisters, every once in a while will challenge me to play that. And I've never lost them.
Dude, okay.
But
we need to
fun,
co-stream Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or 64 or something because no one comes into my town and tells me that they cannot be beaten at Mario Kart. How dare you?
To be fair, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe I'm not nearly as good at as I was with 64.
Yeah.
So we'll race in that first.
One at 64?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And we'll do the whole thing. All was 16 tracks? Yeah.
There's so many tracks. All 16 of them.
They're so much fun. Oh, Rainbow Road especially.
Dude.
Rainbow Road is such a classic. And I love that there's different versions.
I can't nail that shortcut anymore. I used to as a
so
kid.
hard.
It's
so
hard.
It's tough.
Jumping off at the beginning.
Yeah.
You fucking miss it. You're fucked. You're screwed for the rest of the fucking thing.
And it's such a slow fall, too, because you're like,
yeah,
I know I'm not going to land on the track, but it takes forever to get to that point.
I'm just watching my doom happen in slow motion.
Yeah.
Fuck, why'd I do this? That made me so sad for 8, though, like, because they brought that track back, but they made it like a one-shot, only one lap.
That's right, yeah, because it's just one long thing as opposed to a loop, yeah.
Well, it is a loop, but they only let you do one lap.
Really?
Yeah. I thought that was stupid. I don't know.
That was the best part of Rainbow Road was it was such a long track.
Dude, it was like 6 minutes. Like every lap was like 2 minutes long.
I mean, you had ones like Moo Moo Farm or Luigi Raceway that were like, I mean, Luigi's Raceway was basically just NASCAR.
Yeah.
You know, and Moo Moo Farms was a little bit more than that. But
yeah, it was just like the rally version of it because it was all mud and dirt.
Yeah, with the those moles that would pop out every once in a while.
Or like fucking, what was it? Like the baby, what is it called? That one was 9 laps, dude. The really tiny one.
Yep. Yeah.
9 laps. It was so small.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. You guys you heard it here first, man. We're going head to head. We're doing Talladega Nights. I'm going to make his head into a pretzel. There's a pretzel in Chris's head.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, fucking thank you for listening to the official Pixel Benders podcast. We'll hopefully have some more hot takes and news and a little bonus section that we just did today.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So I have been Noise.
I'm DammitKriss.
If you'd like to contact us, any suggestions or any like news breaks that you guys have, you can email us at fans.pixelbenders@gmail.com, or you can leave us a message at 207-791-0995. Yeah, just leave a voicemail there. Or you can come into our Discord. It's absolutely free. Just come in, hang out, and talk some hot takes there. And if you would like to support the pod and our other pods, you can do so through Patreon. You get live access to these recordings, early access to the episodes. You get a chance to be our guest and access to other bonus content like movie reviews and film commentary, as well as Let's Plays that we'll do one day. We just recently recorded Kindergarten Cop 2 movie review.
Oh.
If you didn't know there was a sequel, now you know.
You're lucky, yeah.
And either you can endure through that movie or just listen to us, how we came out of that abomination of a movie.
Or both.
If you'd like to, please leave us a review. And if you leave some words on there, we'll read them out on the next episode. And You can also share us on the socials. That'd be awesome. Spread the word. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Say goodbye, Chris.
Goodbye, Chris.
Forever.